السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عبد الرحمن، كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله.
طيب نبدأ.
نعم يا شيخنا.
أخرنا. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد. Today, bismillah, we'll be continuing with our lessons on Al-adabul mufrad from Al-adabul mufrad by Al-Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah. We repeatedly mentioned that Al-Imam al-Bukhari has compiled this book Al-Adab specifically regarding the manners and the conduct of a Muslim. How does a Muslim conduct himself? What are the manners that he should stick to in his day-to-day dealings regarding himself, regarding his parents, regarding his wives, regarding his neighbors, regarding his relatives, his brothers, his sisters, regarding his co-workers, his colleagues, regarding his subordinates and slaves, in fact, regarding his enemies. If he finds out that some people have deliberately determined to show him enmity, how does he relate with them as far as Islam is concerned? We, especially the modern day Muslim elites, we say it a lot. We say Islam has to do with every sphere of life, but it remains for us to learn what guidance Islam has given us, what lessons it has taught in that every sphere of life that we talk about and that we are happy about, that Islam has provided guidance. How much of that guidance have we learned, and how much of that guidance do we take to? So learning the guidance to is one thing, taking to them is another thing. But you cannot take to something you don't know about. So that's why at all times learning repeatedly, reading repeatedly, reminding ourselves repeatedly about these matters and these conducts are so important. Otherwise, yes, the individual will bear a Muslim name. He will give testimony upon Islam. He will vow upon Islam. But his conduct and manners will be the conduct and the manners of someone who is far from Islam. So we have to learn these conducts. The last thing we discuss about in this book about the conduct and the manners of a Muslim are his expenses. How do you spend? And what are the things that are prohibited about spending? Al-Imam al-Bukhari mentioned a chapter about Al-Sarafu fil Mal. He called it Babu Sarafi fil Mal, the chapter about being extravagant in terms of expenses. And then he followed it with Babul Mubadhirin, the chapter about those who are spendthrifts, those who are wasters of wealth, those who ball up wealth and waste wealth, those who squander the wealth. And we discover and we recall that we mentioned how evil it is because wasting wealth is part of the ways of Shaitan. And the Quran describes those who squander the wealth as from the brothers of Shaitan. They were called brothers of Shaitan because they are supporters of Shaitan. We recall that wasting wealth has to do with Al-infaq fi ghayri haqqin. Spending wealth in things that are unlawful. Whatever you spend, even if it be 1 naira, even if it be half a naira, no matter how small it may be, if you spend upon something that is disobedience to Allah, that expenditure is part of the ways of wastefulness. Whatever spending you make, whatever spending anyone makes, he spends upon anything that is directly clear cut an act of disobedience to Allah, or that will in the end lead to disobedience to Allah. Such expenditures will make that individual come from amongst the mubadhirun, who are from the helpers, who are from the associates and companions of shaitan, because shaitan aids and supports evil. So when the individual spends upon disobedience to Allah, he is aiding and supporting evil, and so he behaves like shaitan. So he is so called the brother of shaitan from that angle. Similarly, if the individual spends upon obedience to Allah, no matter how big that expenditure is, it is not considered as from wastefulness. Obedience to Allah in this case, in the cause of Allah. You build a masjid in the cause of Allah. You build a madrasa in the cause of Allah. You bring young people to learn Islam in the cause of Allah. Particularly, directly, you fund their expenses for the sake of Allah. There is jihad amongst the Muslims. The Muslims prepare for jihad against the non-Muslims. You spend money on it. That was what Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu did. There is an army called Jayshul Usra, the army that went to fight during the time of difficulty. That was the army that went to Tabuk. That army was funded largely by who? Uthman ibn Affan. That kind of an expenditure. There is no too much in it. When the Muslims came to Medina, they did not find water for wudu, except water they would get from a well which was said to belong to a Jew at the time. So it was asked to be purchased. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that anyone who purchased that well, Allah will pay him back with Al Jannah. If you buy this well, Allah will give you Al Jannah. Uthman ibn Affan came up again. He bought the well. Expenditures like this, no matter how large that money is not from the aspects of wasting wealth. But on the other hand, wealth expended, wealth spent in the path of disobedience to Allah, no matter how small that money may be, it will come from the aspects of what? At-Tabzir, wal-Israf, wealth wasting and wealth squandering. I hope that the two extremes have been understood, inshallah. Today, bismillah, we hope to start from Hadith 446 from this book, Al-adabul mufrad by Al-Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, and he titles it Babu Islah al-Manazil. Babu Islah al-Manazil. Or Babun Islahul Manazil, the chapter about Islahul Manazil, keeping the house proper, making Islah, keeping the house in its proper condition. This involves cleaning the house. This involves renovating bad places in the house. When the rainy season now, many homes would have had issues with rain. You have homes where the fences will fall. We have state places where even in the governor's house, the house where the governor stays, the fence fell. The fence where in the house where the governor of the state stays, when the rains came, the fence fell. So from the aspects of the lessons that Islam has taught us is When you repair this fence, when you renovate the house, when you clean the house, thinking that you are doing it by way of obeying Allah and following the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu, that act of your renovating the house itself is an act of worship. You are worshiping Allah. So you get rewards for every penny you spent while trying to renovate the house, while trying to clean the house. Women, their major jobs at home, they always complain. If you say we should stay at home, what should we be doing? One of your jobs is to clean the house. When you clean the house, you get two rewards. The rewards of obedience to your husband and keeping your marriage, bringing joy into your marriage. This is one obedience. You get rewarded for it. You also get rewarded because cleaning the house itself is from the Sunnah. Cleaning the house is from the Sunnah that Islam has taught us. This religion, Islam, from what the Messenger sallallahu alayhi, we shall hear a hadith about this, where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the way he will command us observe salah, the way he will command us give zakah, the way he will command us give sadaqah, the way he will command us come for hajj, the same way he has commanded us to clean our houses and renovate them. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. There is not anything that mankind requires in terms of living a good life, in terms of living a life of convenience, except that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam has taught us about them. And there is not a thing that will bring harm and hurt to the individual, except that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam has directly prohibited us from them, or he has prohibited us from something that when we stick to it, we will be prohibited from that evil. He has come to teach us perfectly how to live, how to exist as a person that Allah is pleased with. Alayhi salatu wasalam. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from the things that he has taught us, from the conduct of the Muslim, is to clean his house. So we cannot find a Muslim saying that he's upon Sunnah or he's upon Islam, and then you find the entire house dirty. No, it is not the Sunnah. Sometimes we will find general texts, general verses of the Quran, general ahadith, like saying that Inna Allah tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyiba. So we employ this text to say that yes, the Muslim should keep clean and beautiful. No, there are clear-cut, direct instructions from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam that instructs us to keep our houses clean, that instructs us to keep our compound, not just the house itself, the compound. There are clear-cut instructions from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. In fact, it counts not keeping the compound clean as from behaving like Jews, from the ways of the Jews, perhaps the Jews that were resident with him in Medina, or the lifestyle of the Jews generally speaking. He prohibited us from not keeping our compounds clean. Why? The Jews don't keep their compound clean. Jews don't do it. They don't keep clean. So you should keep clean. Be clean, alayhi salatu wasalam. He taught us that lesson. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And like we said, when he said, Babu Islahil Manazil, it is not just about making Islah, tanzif, keeping it clean. It also has to do with renovating things that require renovations, renovating things that require renovations in the house. We are required as a matter of following the Sunnah to renovate what requires renovation, to repair something that requires repairing in the house, to clean something that requires to be cleaned in the house. Allah. We are not talking about ourselves now. The house itself requires to be kept clean, requires to be requires to be renovated. When you do that, we're talking about doing this as from the acts of following the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Imam al-Bukhari has placed these discourses under the chapter Babu Islah al-Manazil, the chapter about uh, renovating, repairing, cleaning, and putting the house into order. And that comes from hadith number 446, where Imam al-Bukhari said, Rahimahullah, حدثنا عبد الله بن يوسف قال حدثنا الليث قال حدثنا ابن عجلان عن زيد بن أسلم عن أبيه قال كان عمر يقول على المنبر يا أيها الناس أصلحوا عليكم مثاويكم يا أيها الناس أصلحوا عليكم مثاويكم وأخيفوا هذه الجنان قبل أن تخيفكم فإنه لن يبدع لكم مسلموها فإنه لن يبدو لكم مسلموها وإنا والله ما سالمناهن منذ عاديناهن. Al-Imam al-Bukhari mentions this hadith, this time a hadithun mawqufun, a hadith that stops at who? Umar ibn al-Khattab, Amirul Mu'minin, radiyallahu anhu. Al-Imam al-Bukhari reports it from his own Shaykh Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunisi. Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunisi was a well-known from amongst the students of Al-Imam Malik. He also reported Muwatta Malik. If you go to read Muwatta now, you will find it that the common copy of Muwatta is that copy of Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi. There are others amongst the students of Al-Imam Malik who also have their collections of Muwatta, because Al-Imam Malik authored Muwatta over a period of 40 years. So whenever a student came, the copy that was available, that was what he copied and went. Whenever a student came, the copy that was available, that was what he made, and then he left. So that makes us have Muwatta art, because over time he was editing it, he was changing it, he was adding it, he was removing from it. Al-Imam Malik, over a period of 40 years. So we have various copies of what? Muwatta. So, but the most common that we have today is what? The copy of who? Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi, rahimahullah. But from amongst those who also made copies and learned Muwatta from Al-Imam Malik was who? Abdullah ibn Yusuf at-Tunisi, rahimahullah. It was from Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunisi that Al-Imam al-Bukhari took Muwatta Malik. The reports of Muwatta with Al-Imam al-Bukhari as a book itself. He got it from who? Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunisi. So he's a very, very important sheikh from amongst the shuyukh of Al-Imam al-Bukhari, because it was from him that Al-Bukhari learned Muwatta. So Al-Imam Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunisi, he is reporting from Al-Layth ibn Sa'd al-Misri. He is reporting from Al-Imam Al-Layth ibn Sa'd al-Misri, one of the biggest scholars from the scholars of Egypt. During the time of Al-Imam Malik, he was from amongst the most knowledgeable people in the Muslim world. Many of the scholars will say that Al-Layth afqahu min Malik. that Layth ibn Sa'd was a stronger scholar of fiqh than Al-Imam Malik. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd al-Misri, rahimahullah. He was a friend of Malik. In fact, there are narrations that he was the one who guaranteed Al-Imam Malik. Because we were just talking about expenses, maybe I should talk about that. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd guaranteed Malik food and clothing and money for expenses. Al-Imam Malik was not doing any job. He was not upon anything. He was upon the funding from Al-Layth ibn Sa'd, who was a scholar like him, who Ash-Shafi'i said was even more knowledgeable than Malik. So you, Malik, sit down in the masjid of the messenger, be teaching. Whatever you need, we'll provide it. The one who did that regarding Malik was who? Al-Layth ibn Sa'd. Otherwise, in terms of knowledge, he was even more knowledgeable than Malik. So he had a lot of wealth with which he funded Malik. In fact, when Malik's daughter was to get married, the list of the needs for the marriage was sent to Al-Layth. And he returned with about 10 times what was requested for, so that it would be sufficient for the people of Medina. Because here we have the scholar of the people of Medina marrying out his daughter. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd did that to Malik. These are the kind of expenses the ulama will say to us, no, this is not from Israf. You sit down, be teaching. Don't worry. Whatever you need, we'll provide it. The one who did that to Malik was who? Al-Layth ibn Sa'd, who himself was a great scholar of hadith and fiqh. Ash-Shafi'i said that Al-Layth was more knowledgeable than Malik, and yet he was stupendously rich, rahimahullah. Malik ibn Layth ibn Sa'd al-Misri. So sometimes Allah opens the gates of favors to an individual from all the angles. He had knowledge, he had wealth. Rahimahullah. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd. He is the Shaykh of Abdullah ibn Yusuf in this hadith. And he is reporting from another well-known scholar from amongst the scholars of Egypt. And that is Imam Muhammad ibn Ajlan. Al-Askandariya. Al-Askandari. Muhammad ibn Ajlan spent most of his life in Alexandria. That's why he's ascribed to Al-Askandariya. And he left towards the end of his life and took residence in Al-Madinah. And he finally died in Medina. Muhammad ibn Ajlan. He spent most of his life in Egypt, in Alexandria. He was teaching, he was explaining the religion. He was well known for piety and ibadah. Muhammad ibn Ajlan. He was well known for a lot of ibadah. Ibn Ajlan. He combined knowledge with a lot of worship. Ibadah. Ibn Ajlan. He was from amongst the scholars of Egypt, just like Al-Layth ibn Sa'd. Rahimahumullah. He is reporting from Zayd ibn Aslam. Zayd ibn Aslam was from amongst the scholars of Al-Madinah. So you will find the connection now between Ibn Ajlan and Zayd ibn Aslam. That Ibn Ajlan, yes, he was a scholar from among the scholars of Egypt. He spent most of his life in Alexandria. Then he migrated to Medina. So you can see the isnad is moving forth and backwards because of the movement of the scholars. When they move, knowledge moves. When the scholars move, knowledge moves. When they relocate, everything about their knowledge also relocates. Rahimahumullah. So Zayd ibn Aslam was from amongst the scholars of Al-Madinah. Rahimahullah. He is reporting from his father, Aslam, who was a freed slave of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Zayd ibn Aslam was reporting from his father, who was a freed slave of who? Umar ibn al-Khattab. So you see the isnad. What we are talking about now is the isnad. That one does not occur inside Christianity. It's a means of verifying the authenticity of what we are going to read about. So in Islam, you can verify, everything can be verified. everything can be verified and ascertained to be sound and reliable in Islam. So you can see how that report came. You can ask, how does Al-Bukhari rahimahullah, Al-Bukhari was from amongst the people of Bukhara, from River Oxus, far away, far east. How come he heard Umar radiallahu anhu in Medina delivering a khutbah and talking about the hadith that we shall read just now? The connection between Al-Bukhari and Umar is what you have heard. Al-Bukhari received it from his own teacher, Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunaysi, well known. Abdullah ibn Yusuf al-Tunaysi received it from his own teacher, Al-Layth ibn Sa'd. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd received it from his own teacher, Muhammad ibn Ajlan. Muhammad ibn Ajlan received it from his own teacher, who? Zayd ibn Aslam. So Zayd ibn Aslam received it. How did Zayd ibn Aslam receive it from Umar? He received it from his father. Just the way we teach our children. Umar said this. So the father of Zayd ibn Aslam, Aslam Mawla, Umar ibn al-Khattab, will tell his son, we were one day with Umar, then Umar said this. So his son Zayd ibn Aslam would be with his students, including Muhammad ibn Ajlan. He will say that my father told me that Umar ibn al-Khattab said this, and his father was a freed slave of Umar. So Muhammad ibn Ajlan will say to his own students, including Al-Layth ibn Sa'd, that my teacher Zayd ibn Aslam said to me that his father heard from Umar. So you can see tasalsul. It's not. It's not. It is part of our own religion in Islam. Because by means of it, you can verify anything and the reliability of whatever you choose to verify. So the father of Zayd ibn Aslam was the one reporting this narration from Umar ibn al-Khattab. He said, كان عمر يقول على المنبر. كان عمر يقول. One of the things that Umar would do. One of the things that Umar would do. It means that it was not something he just did. He just did once. كان يقول. He would say, رضي الله عنه. And we know who Umar was. Umar ibn al-Khattab. رضي الله عنه. One of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And he was the second Khalifa after the Prophet passed away. Radiallahu anhu. Umar ibn al-Khattab. Abu Hafs. Radiallahu anhu. Some people refer to him as Abu Hafsa. That is wrong. Yes, he has a daughter called Hafsa, but he was Abu Hafs. What does Abu Hafs mean? Arabs refer to lion as what? Abu Hafs. The nickname of a lion, Al-Asad, amongst Arabs is what? Abu Hafs. So Omar is Abu Hafs, even though he has a daughter called Hafsa. The one with which he took a kunya was what? Hafs, Abu Hafs. He was a lion, radiallahu anhu. He was tough. He was strong. He has energy. As strong as he was, his iman was stronger. Radiallahu anhu. He was a person of iman. He accepted iman. He was full of iman. When Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was passing away, he was asked, if you die and you meet Allah, Allah asks you, who have you left the ummah with? He said, I will tell them that I have left them with the best of them, Umar. I will tell Allah, I will say to Allah, I left the ummah in the hands of the best of them. Who was that? Umar. It was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq who appointed Umar. You, Umar, when I die, you become the next Amir. So in Islam, an Amir, a leader who is passing away, can appoint his successor. This is the evidence. Abu Bakr did it, and it became an ijma'. It became a consensus amongst the companions. No companion rejected and said, no, you can't appoint. It is not lawful to appoint. So two ways. Abu Bakr himself was appointed upon a consensus. The Muslims came together and said, let's make Abu Bakr our ruler. The person who did that was Umar. Is anyone who wants to say he wants to come in front of Abu Bakr, let him come. Abu Bakr is the best of us. We all know that is the best of us. This also goes to say, when Omar said Abu Bakr is the best of us, he is the one who should be our leader. Omar, Abu Bakr Siddiq also appointed Omar and said, Omar is the best of you. If I meet Allah, I will say to Allah, I left the Ummah in the hands of the best of them. It means those who should be leaders in the community are those who are known to be the best of them. The best of them in terms of fear of Allah. We know where we have landed for us. We, those that we make our own leaders, are those the best of us in terms of fearing Allah, in terms of being disciplined, in terms of the knowledge of governance? Are they the best of us? So the best of us should be appointed as our leaders. So sometimes the leadership can come by an appointment. The exiting president or ruler, we are talking about our religion now, Islam. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was exiting. He appointed Umar. So an exiting ruler can say, oh, you become the ruler after. So it's allowed in Islam. The entirety of the companions agreed to it. It was a consensus among. There was no single dissenting voice. Say, no, it's not lawful to appoint a ruler over us. Exactly, when you go, leave us, we will appoint by ourselves. No. As for Umar radiallahu anhu, he set up a group of companions to appoint his own successor. He didn't appoint. Omar did not appoint Uthman. He set up a shura, a group of people. That group of people too were the best of the people at the time. He appointed Abdurrahman ibn Auf. He appointed Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, radiallahu anhu. He appointed Uthman ibn Affan himself, radiallahu anhu. He appointed Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu. He appointed Talha ibn Ubaidullah. He appointed Zubair ibn Awwam. And he made Abdurrahman ibn Auf, you head them, oversee their affairs. These are the best of the Ummah at the time. Radiallahu anhu. So a ruler can do that. So amongst you, and he said it should be one of you. Choose one amongst you. Anyone you choose amongst you is suitable. No companion stood up at the time to say, no, Omar, we don't accept. So that is ijma, that is consensus. So they have a consensus that a ruler can appoint his successor. It can happen like that in Islam. There is no blame. Why? The companions have a consensus. They have an ijma that is lawful. Two, we can also have a group of Muslims, a shura, appointing the head of us, we Muslims. What is the evidence for that? Again, consensus of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So these are the ways the ruler is appointed. So the best of us at the time, until today, after Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the companions will say when the Prophet was alive, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we counted the best amongst us and we say Abu Bakr, Summa Umar. We say Abu Bakr, Ya Umar, Abu Bakr, Ya Umar. The Prophet was alive, alayhi salam. So there, from the silent sanctions of the Prophet was that yes, the best of you was Abu Bakr, and the best of you after him was who? Umar ibn al-Khattab. So we want to listen to this statement from the best of us after Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Who is that? Umar ibn al-Khattab. Radiyallahu anhu. This occurs in Hadith 446 in our book Al-adabul mufrad. So Zayd ibn Aslam, the freed slave of Umar, said, Kana Umar yaqulu ala al-minbar. Umar ibn al-Khattab would say on the minbar, not once. He would say, Ya ayyuhan nas, aslihu alaykum mafawi. Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, aslihu alaykum mafawi. Mafawi is the plural of mathwa. We know that word mathwa in the Quran. I remember one occurs in Surah Al-Ankabut. أليس في جهنم مثوى, a place of stay. Mathwa is what? A place where you stay. The places where you stay. So the plural of mathwa is what? Mathawi. So when he says aslihu alaykum mathawikum, he said aslihu islah, clean your places where you stay. It means not just our houses, not just the manazil, not just our houses, not just our homes. Everywhere where you stay, you have a hut, H-U-T, hut, where you cool it off in the afternoon. Clean it, make it clean. You have a place where you sit down with your children. Make it clean. You have a house. Keep the house clean. Aslihu alaykum mathawikum. Aslihu, repair them when they need repairs. Renovate them when they need to be renovated. Something gets spoiled in the house, renovate it. Something gets spoiled in the toilet, renovate it. Something gets spoiled in the kitchen, renovate it. Aslihu alaykum mathawikum. The places where you stay, aslihu, keep them clean, sweep them, mop them, dust them, remove the cobwebs. It would be unfortunate that when you get to the room of some women, you find it very dirty because they are busy with their phones, sending WhatsApp messages, doing businesses. Many brothers have complained this to me, that they have the cases where their wives, instead of cleaning the house, she's busy pressing the phone, pressing the phone, pressing the phone. She's busy with businesses, trade, this, that, conductor, bus driver who went to help her deliver a shoe or bag or something somewhere. This is what she's busy with. When you come back to the house is dirty. The bed is not well kept. Don't we stay on our beds? The bed takes some good hours from us every day. Our beds, the beds where we sleep on, they take good hours from us. In fact, averagely, the human being should sleep for about 7 hours daily. 7 hours you are in a single place. So it's a place of stay too. It's mathwa for you. You stay on your bed. And yet the bed itself is not well kept. Some people, when you sleep on their beds, you have dust and signs on your body. The beds are not properly dusted. They are not properly made. They are not properly dressed. The clothes on them are dirty. This is not from Islam. Many women, you find bed sheets are dirty. And the excuses will be children. These children, these children. Yes, teach the children how to keep the house clean too. Why you don't stop. That is the reason why Allah says, "Wakorona fi buyutikunna" now. Stay inside your house. One of the things that I employ when I discuss things like this is, if you go to banks and major business places, you see the cleaners, they will not take a permission from you, they'll just start cleaning. I see that a lot. Get into a bank, may Allah protect us. If you get into a bank, you see the cleaners, they are cleaning. As you are moving, they are cleaning. When you get near you, you move. Nobody will tell you to move before you move. You see them cleaning all the time. They will not say, "Oh, I cleaned in the morning, then it got dirty." So when the directors come, say, "Hey, we cleaned in the morning," but they keep it clean. These people are not doing this because they expect any rewards from Allah. So you that you are expecting rewards from Allah for keeping the house clean, why shouldn't you keep the house clean? Because what this means, as we read it here, is that when you keep the house clean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, this hadith occurs in Al-Mu'jam al-Awsat by Al-Imam al-Tabarani rahimahullah. The Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Tahiru afniyatakum." The Prophet said alayhi salam, "Tahiru," he used tahara. The same tahara we use for wudu. The same tahara we use for ghusl. The same tahara we use when we clean ourselves using water after defecating or the like of that. The same tahara we say when we urinate. Tahara, cleanliness. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, Tahiru afniyatakum. Tahiru. Clean your fina. Afniya. Afniya is the plural of what? Fina. What does fina mean? Your compound. Clean your compounds. So if he says clean your compounds, will he say leave your rooms unclean? The Sharia that is the Tahiru afniyatakum. And then he told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودَ لَا تُطَهِّرُوا أَفْنِيَتَهَا alayhi salam. He says, فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودَ, because the Jews, لَا تُطَهِّرُوا أَفْنِيَتَهَا, they will not clean their afniya, they will not clean their compounds. Muslims, please clean your compounds. Meaning, clean your rooms too. That is what it means. Because the basic thing is for people to clean their rooms and become oblivious about the compound. So he says, clean your compounds too. What does it mean? Clean your rooms too. Clean your rooms. Make your rooms clean. Make your beds clean. He says, فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودَ لَا تُطَهِّرُوا أَفْنِيَتَهَا. The Jews don't clean their compounds. They leave it, the compounds dirty. In a similar expression of this hadith, the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, La tashabbahu bil Yahud. Do not behave like these Jews. Tajma'ul akba'a fi duriha. Tajma'ul akba'a fi duriha. In their compounds, they leave aside when you keep debts, you gather debts in places within the compound. You gather one here, you gather one here, gather one here, gather one here. That's what they do. So the compound is dirty. You see debts, gather. As for you Muslims, keep your compound clean. Tahiru afniyatakum. So when a Muslim male, I remember the first time that I read this hadith. I read it first in Silsilatul Ahadith al-Sahihah by Al-Imam Muhammad Naasir Al-Albani. That time, that book was the book we got busy with, as if there is no other other book amongst Muslims. Just like Riyadus Salihin. You know the way Riyadus Salihin is studied. Only Allah knows number of times we read Riyadus Salihin. So the same thing with Silsilatul Sahihah. Always. The first time I came across that hadith, that very day I swept the compound where I was living. Went to pick a broom. Follow that hadith. Keep your compound clean. You can keep it clean by yourself, by way of doing this worship. You can also keep it clean by employing somebody who can do it. When you employ somebody to do it, you are also, you, the owner of the house, you are keeping your compound clean. It is both sides. If you do it by yourself, you are keeping your compound clean. If you employ somebody to do it, you are keeping your compound clean. What the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, is that what tahiru afniyatakum. Keep your compounds clean. Who said so? The Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So Umar radiallahu anhu will re-echo this. That hadith also occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud. It was called in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. And Al-Imam Muhammad Naasir Al-Albani grades it authentic in Silsilatul Sahihah. Rahimahullah. So this is the same message that Umar is echoing to us. It says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, aslihu alaykum mathawih. Aslihu alaykum mathawih. Keep your places where you stay, mathawih. Aslihu alaykum. Keep it clean for yourself. Keep it clean for yourself. Keep your places clean for yourselves. Young girls too. Sometimes you find their places where they stay very dirty. Yes, jilbab can be fine. Go and see where they stay. Go and check their toilets. Very dirty. أصلحوا عليكم مثاويكم. Keep the, the places where you stay. Keep your homes clean. Keep your rooms clean. Keep your parlor, your husband's parlor clean. Keep everywhere in the house clean. Why? It is an act of ibadah to keep our surroundings clean in Islam. So not just your rooms, including where? Your compound. Why? The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Tahiru afniyatakum. Clean your compounds. فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودِ, because the Jews, لَا تُطَهِّرُ أَفْنِيَتَهَا. Something common amongst them is that they don't keep their own compounds clean. So Umar said, Ya ayyuhannas. He would say that not once, not twice. He used to say that. He would say, not he used to, he would say that. Radiallahu anhu. Ya ayyuhannas, O people. Aslihu alaykum mathawikum. Keep the places where you stay. Keep them clean. And like we said, this is not restricted to your house. From our mathwa and our offices, you spend 2-3 hours in the office. You stay there. It has become a place of stay for you. Keep your office clean. Classrooms. Keep your classrooms clean. So that has to do with the students. It has to do with those in charge of the students. Keep your places clean. 2 ways. If you keep it clean by yourself, you are following this hadith. If you employ somebody to help keep it clean, you are also following this hadith. Because what comes at the end of the day, you have kept your places clean. Umar said, Radiallahu anhu, Aslihu alaykum mathawikum. Keep your places clean. From that is that you have a tap that requires repair it. You have a flush that requires repair it. You have a roof requiring repair it. You have a window broken requiring repair it. Don't leave it. When you do it with the intention of following the sunnah, you are going to get rewarded for it, just as if you are performing other acts of ibadah. Look at this Islam, so full of blessings for the Muslims. May Allah bless us. Omar went on to say, radiyallahu anhu, وَأَخِيفُوا هَذِهِ الْجِنَّانِ قَبْلَ أَن تُخِيفَكُمْ. أَخِيفُوا هَذِهِ الْجِنَّانِ قَبْلَ أَن تُخِيفَكُمْ. هَذِهِ الْجِنَّانِ. Al-Jinnan is the plural of Jan. Jan are snakes. Jinnan, snakes. Hayat. Allati takunu fil buyut. They are snakes that are always within the house. Snakes, the Arabs, they found snakes usually within the house. You always find one kind of a snake. So, akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan. Yarhamukillah. Umar radiallahu anhu said, akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan. Harass them. Harass the snakes. Qabla an tukhifakum. Before they bring harassment to you. Before they harass you, harass them. Once you see them, go after them. Before they become a means of a threat against you. Go after the snakes. If you see a snake within the house, don't keep it. Go after it. Immediately. Go after that snake. Akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan qabla an tukhifa. Before it comes to become a means of threat against you. You go against it first. Go. Something so kill it. Sometimes people think that, oh, the doors are so thickly covered, and you still find snakes in the houses. We have heard a lot of narrations, even in big men's houses, as sophisticated as the doors and the windows. Somehow, the snakes found themselves into the house. If it happens, Akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan. Go after the snakes. Go, be sure you kill them. قبل أن تخيفكم, before it becomes a means of a threat against you. There are some kinds of snakes that the Prophet ﷺ has told us not to keep. It was common in Medina. He encouraged the people of Medina, don't kill them. He said because they accepted Islam. Those snakes, in that case, they are not real snakes. They are jinns, but they appear in the form of snakes. The Prophet told us that in clear-cut ahadith in Sahih Muslim. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, Inna bil Madinati jinnah. In Medina, there are some jinns called Aslamu. They have accepted Islam. فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُم مِّنْهُمْ شَيْئًا. If you find snakes, they are jinns, but they come in the form of snakes. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that they are Muslims. So they stay with you. They want to stay in your house. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, قَدْ أَسْلَمُوا. They had accepted Islam. فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُم مِّنْهُمْ شَيْئًا. If you find any one of them, فَآذِنُوهُ ثَلَاثَةَ أَيَّامٍ. Tell it, give it permission for 3 days. Hey, go out of my house. Go out of my house. Go out of my house. فَإِن بَدَا لَكُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. If it becomes clear to you that no, I don't think that it is these snakes that have accepted Islam that I'm hearing, that I'm seeing it in all of this. فَاقْتُلُوهُ. In that case, kill it. فَإِنَّمَا هُوَ شَيْطَانٌ. Because that is, of course, perhaps a Satan. So I'm just trying to say that by way of connecting to this hadith, at that time in Medina, the Prophet ﷺ made them understand that there were some jinns who became Muslims. And then they come in the form of snakes. Of course, that is part of Islahul Bayt. If you, al-manazil, if you are cleaning the homes, you can find something. If it's not snake, it can be any kind of a thing. Scorpions are common. If you go to the north, far east, you always find scorpions. Go to Taraba, go to Yobe, go to Adamawa. I know these places very well. There is Buniyaji. I remember it was the first place I was seeing a big scorpion. Big, black, scary. May Allah protect us. And the people living in that community, they are used to it. It's scorpion everywhere. No matter the kind of house that you have. No matter the kind of house. You will find something like a scorpion in the house. So they know how to handle the bites of scorpions in the Far East, in Taraba, Yobe, Jalingo, all these places. I think from Gombe upwards. Because we really discussed the matter at that time. So it's not restricted to this. If you find that, hey, while cleaning the house, you find something, kill it. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because those jinns in Medina at that time, they accepted Islam. So they like to stay in the homes. For you to know whether it was a kind of a snake like that or not, tell it to go out of your house. Ask for it. Hey, go out of my house. Tell it to go out. So this is evidence that it is something that you can talk to, because it is not ordinary snake. It's not like the ordinary snake you see in the bush. You can talk, hey, go out of my house, go out of my house. Allow it for 3 days. So if it becomes clear to you after that no, this is not amongst those snakes that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that they are jinns who became Muslims that now appear in the forms of snakes. They are not like that, then kill it. So the snakes that we should kill. So when the Umar radiallahu anhu was saying this, people have that impression that it is not every snake you kill in the house. And the Umar said, radiallahu anhu, وَإِنَّهُ لَنْ يَبْدُوَ لَكُمْ مُسْلِمُهَا. Because it may not be clear to you whether this one is Muslim or this one is not. It may not be kill what you killed. Don't let it cause a harm to you. Don't let it become a means of harm to you. Why? You don't know. I don't know whether this one is from the Muslim or not. Quickly kill it. Radiallahu anhu. Wa inna wallahi. Because we, human beings, or we, the Muslims, I swear by Allah, ما سالمناهن منذ عاديناهن. منذ عاديناهن. In some reports, منذ حاربناهن. This so-called comes from the statement. All that Umar was saying here comes from the statement of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. The Prophet says to alayhi salatu wasalam, we human beings, since we began to become worried over snakes, we have never become comfortable with snakes. So they say that is from the fitrah of human beings. From our innate, from our the way Allah has created us is that we don't feel comfortable with snakes. So since that time we became uncomfortable with snakes. Since when we are created to become uncomfortable with snakes, we have not become comfortable. We can't become comfortable with them. So when you see them, quickly kill it. They too, they are not comfortable with us when they see us. When snakes see human beings, they either want to harm them or they want to run away. Either of the two. They are not comfortable at all with human beings. So when these both sides are not comfortable with the other, we have not had a settlement. So Umar radiallahu anhu said, Akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan. Make sure you go after these snakes. Qabla an tukhifakum. Before it becomes a means of threat to you. فَإِنَّهُ لَنْ يَبْدُوَ لَكُمْ مُسْلِمُهَا. Because sometimes those that are Muslims amongst them will not become clear to you. You don't know how to differentiate, is this one a Muslim jinn or not? Because sometimes it is very necessary to differentiate. Very, very necessary. We remember the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, also in Sahih Muslim, of that young man who killed a snake. And the snake came back to him and killed him too. He stabbed the snake with its war weapon, with his weapon. And he returned to him. That snake was a jinn. The snake was a jinn. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, we were in Medina together. We did not know who died first, whether it was that young man or the snake that first of all died. Because the snake took over the bed. His wife ran out. You remember that story? They were preparing for the battle of Khandak, Ahzab, the battle of the trench. And a young man will come from Medina, he will walk, he will go back to Medina. He just got married. So he will ask for permission from the Prophet ﷺ to go back to Medina. So he will go back to Medina so as to stay with his new wed wife. So one day he was returning to Medina, he saw the wife outside. He was angry with her. What are you doing outside? This is evidence that women did not used to waka about. What are you doing outside? You're supposed to be inside the house. The wife said, please be patient. Come and see what sent me out of the house. He opened the door of the house and saw a huge snake on the bed. Don't forget, he was returning from a place where they are preparing for a war. So he had his armament with him. He used that weapon against the snake. The snake came back onto him. He used the weapon on the snake came back onto him. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, we don't know who died first amongst the two, whether it was the snake or the man himself. So this goes to make us understand, be careful when you want to attack the snakes. If you have a way of scaring them to go away, scare them, let them go away. But don't be the one that is scared. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he prohibited us from that. Don't be the one that becomes scared from a snake. Al-Imam Abu Dawud reported a hadith regarding that. The Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam, Man taraka shay'an minhunna khifatan falaysa minna. Man taraka shay'an minhunna khifatan falaysa minna. The one who left a snake, left it out of fear, is not from us. We Muslims don't behave like that. Falaysa minna. Man taraka shay'an minhunna khifatan. Whoever leaves a snake, he leaves it to go out of fear. He's afraid of the snake, so he left it to go. Is the reason why he left it that he's afraid. So a Muslim doesn't become afraid. It is not from the Sunnah to be afraid of a snake. It is not from the Sunnah to be afraid of a snake. And we have women who are afraid of ordinary ants. And they see an ant, they start shouting. You see a wall gecko, they start shouting. What kind of person of Iman are you, oh woman? Wall gecko, you are shouting. Ants, you are shouting. I've seen it before. Someone saw an ant, he was shouting, yeah. What are you shouting? So when you see a snake, what will you do? And we have been told that it is not part of the ways of the people of Islam to be afraid of a snake. So why are you afraid? You are alone, your husband traveled, you are cleaning the house, then you find a snake. What do? You pack out of the house. Yes, you can go out of the house to look for somebody to help you. Together with you, you kill it, but let it not be out of fear. You can go out of the house, look for some people, look for something to be able to help you kill it. But that you are afraid of it makes you run away completely. Then it becomes even a means of danger because you don't know where the snake goes to hide. May Allah protect all of us. So that was why Umar said, harass that snake, take care of it before it becomes a means of threat to you. Kill it before it becomes a means of threat to you. And we know what it means when we say a snake was a means of threat. There is a kind of a snake the Prophet ﷺ encouraged Muslims, wherever they find it, they should kill it. He said, alayhi salatu salam, because it blinds the eyes and it removes pregnancy from women. If it bites a woman, her pregnancy will fall. And then it blinds the eyes too. The Prophet called it a name, alayhi salatu wasalam. I think that hadith is also called in Sahih Muslim. So we should be careful about snakes. Within the house especially. Kill them. Kill them. Don't make them become a means of threat towards you. This is part of keeping the house safe. This is part of cleaning the house. This is part of maintaining the house. So we all must do this. The home is a place to be kept. Keep it clean, renovate it, repair it, paint it, adjust it, make it a place where staying there is suitable for you. This not just inside the house. Make that also happen to the compound. Keep your compound clean. We have heard it. Not keeping the compound clean is like behaving like the Jews. They are the ones who don't keep their own finna clean. They don't keep فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودَ لَا تُطَهِّرْ أَفْنِيَتَهَا لَا تُطَهِّرْ. They did not used to لَا تُطَهِّرُوا أَفْنِيَتَهَا. They would not keep their compounds clean. You keep your compound clean. Keep your rooms clean. These are from the manners and the conduct that Islam has taught us. I think it will be sufficient for us to stop here today about the Rahman. And the lesson is about keeping the house clean.
Jazakumullah khairan, ya Shaykh. Now, the first question here says, is the reward of cleaning still valid for the woman who employs an house help that she pays in the house?
We have discussed that. We have discussed that in the class. Keeping the house clean comes from two angles. Your wife does it herself, you do it yourself, or the husband does it himself, maybe outside the house, maybe the compound. There is nothing wrong on Saturdays and Sundays. Put on a nose mask, Abu, put on a nose mask and clean the compound. There is nothing wrong. You can also mobilize the boys too with you. I used to do that. I used to do that. I used to keep my compound clean because when I'm following the sunnah, I want to obey that hadith. I used to do it very well. I did it for a long time. That I stopped joining the kids, the boys to clean compound. Now it's not up to 2 years. I used to join them to clean the compound. We clean the compound together, the boys. Yes, you make them get used to it. It's a good deed. It's a sunnah. You do it, you get the reward. They get the reward. You teach them too. When they grow up, they don't push their wives outside. Say, hey, go out and because their own father was used to cleaning the compound together with them. So clean it. You can do it yourself. There's no blame in that. Nobody is too big to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the same thing. If doing it yourself becomes a problem, maybe health issues, maybe you are busy, maybe you are tired, maybe, then you can get someone to do it for yourself. So the same thing with the women for inside the house. Maybe though she's tired today, she's weak today, she has health challenge, or the like of that. She can bring someone to clean the house. The house should not be left dirty. But let it not be out of arrogance. Let it not be, me? Who are you? You can't be better than Aisha radiallahu anha. You can't be better than the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. These people clean their homes. The Prophet cleaned his house. Women used to quote it when they want to test, they say that their husband should come and be sweeping their rooms for them. Yes, so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will do that sometimes. If it's available, he could do it. So don't do it out of arrogance, because Allah hates the arrogant one. Some women will say, me clean? No, clean, clean. You get this reward. Don't be arrogant towards a good deed. So a woman can clean it by herself. If for whatever reasons she becomes unable to do it, then she can bring someone to do it for her. Fatima radiallahu anha is better than any young girl in the world today. Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet sallallahu. When she was the wife of Ali ibn Abi Talib in the house of Ali, Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet, like saying that the daughter of Bala Ahmed Tinubu should be the one cleaning the house. Fatima was cleaning the house of her husband Ali. She even had blisters on her hands. So don't be arrogant, oh woman, towards your husband, saying that me, the husband will just ask you, so who are you? Fatima was better than you, she was cleaning. So are you better than Fatima who was cleaning? Fatima is the daughter of the head of all human beings, the best human being on the earth, the best human being, all over. His daughter was cleaning. So what are you? What will you be that will make you become arrogant? So if there are other reasons, maybe health reasons, maybe, yes, understandable. But out of me, I can't. No, don't show this kind of attitude. Don't forget that it's an act of worship. When you do it, Allah will reward you. So if for whatever reason the person becomes unable, or that the job is big, the job is much for her alone, then you can bring somebody who will come back to that too in this book. Joining the workers to do the work is part of worship in our religion, Islam. You do it with them. I'm even surprised that those who are into mental health, they say one of the ways to relieve yourself of mental stress is to clean. Do you know that? Cleaning relieves mental stress. When you clean your compound, you relieve yourself, you become refreshed, you yourself. So when mental health people, your coach, mental health, when they say clean, you will clean. But when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell you to clean, you'll be asking your husband that you can't. Look at you. So may Allah protect us from this kind of a posture, arrogance. It is bad. When mental health coach tells you, go and clean, you get mentally relief. You quickly come and carry the broom. But when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells you, clean the house, you will say, no, you are arrogant. You are looking for nanny to clean the house. So join the nanny and clean the house. When the nanny carries 3 things, you carry 1. When she cleans 5 places, you clean 1. But don't let it be that you are just standing aloof, not doing anything. Clean 2. Your Al-Jannah is there. When they say stay in the house and end Al-Jannah, those are the things you stay in the house to do. Those who are better than you have done it. So what is the pride there? May Allah forgive all of us and protect us from arrogance.
Amen. So another question says, I want to ask, based on the story of Imam Malik, what is the duty of father regarding wedding ceremony fund of his daughter, and also about the husband in this regard? Jazakumullah khair.
The issues of marriage and walima, there are a lot of things involved. The stricto sensu, if you come down, it is the husband who has the duty of walima. The duty of walima is upon the husband. The husband is the one who, after the akdu comes first. That is what many Muslims are rejecting, even though they are beginning to understand now. Akdu comes first. After the act, then you do walima. You are making walima over the act. Some people will insist. I know somebody is an imam. He will be insisting ignorantly because it is out of ignorance. This matter has been discussed with him for a long time. So he'll be insisting, no, he doesn't want act to separate from walima separate. Say, even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, between the Prophet Akdu and walima, 3 years was involved. For Zainab bint Jahsh, she came to his house. So do the act, then follow it with walima. Do the act, then follow it with walima. It is not now wrong if at the same time and day that you are doing the akdu, that is the same time and day you are doing the walima. No problem. There's no blame in this too. There's no blame in this. But what you find common amongst the early Muslims, akdu, then walima. Akdu, then walima. If you do the two on a single day, on a single sitting, there's no blame, inshallah. So these are the basic things about that. Now, in terms of expenses, that, like we said, the duty of spending itself for walima to nikah is an ibadah on the man. But the man can be helped either by his family or by the family of the wife. It doesn't mean he should not. No, it is his job. Now, this job of walima, feasting, eating, drinking, it can come from himself alone. It can come from the family of the wife with him. It can come from his own family. It can come from everybody. There's evidence for that too in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet had the marriage. I think that's the marriage of Juwairiya. And he asked everybody to bring food. If you are coming from this walima, everybody bring your food. So it was like a picnic. People brought food. So it's allowed. We, even friends and relatives too. You can give him a cow. The other one give him a bag of rice. The other one give him granite oil. The other one give him this. The other one give him that. But there is the other aspect too that has to do with the father of the girl. Like trying to buy clothes for the daughter. Buy her clothes, buy her shoes, things with which she will enjoy her stay in marriage. Buy her things. Make her feel happy going out of the house. So this one, the father can take. These are other matters regarding marriage. So the father can do that. In some places, they say, oh, the husband who wants to do that, buy it as a gift to our daughter now, please. Okay, it's not wrong if the husband proposing to marry the girl does that. If he refuses to, there is nothing in the Sharia that compels a man to buy those gifts. What a man is compelled to do is to give the woman the mahar. Now, some families will now insist that all those loads and luggage should be part of the mahar. If the man becomes unable to bear it, you started bringing problem in the marriage from day one. Don't bring a burden to a man regarding mahar. It is not correct. It is wrong. It is not correct. It is wrong to bring a burden to a man over mahar. So let everything be according to need, according to necessity, being fair. Everybody is fair to one another. So what Malik did, rahimahullah, was to provide food for the people. Of course, he himself as a scholar will have visitors. You can imagine a scholar like Malik marrying his daughter out. Who are those who will come for that marriage? So he too will feel a sense of, let me provide food for my guests. He would like to provide food for the guests, for his own guests. Not just that, he also likes to dress up his daughter, prepare the girl, make her feel nice, make her feel comfortable. All of these expenses was borne by Allah in the Sad. So you can have a friend say, take care of that, your daughter's marriage. Yes, there's nothing wrong about that. And he himself may be rich enough to do that by his own self. There's no blame in that. I hope that this is clear, inshallah. Abu Abdul Rahman, can we call it a day here today? The time is already past.
نعم يا شيخنا صلوات الله عليك.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.